Alright guys, it's time to talk about that last scene in the second episode of Loki. It is a big one. It changes everything we knew about the show and how they're going to go past this point. So quite obviously, there's a lot to talk about. There's going to be a lot of theories going on from what happens here. So let's break down that scene. So yes, the second episode of Loki quite literally ends with multiple bangs. And before we get into it, let me just remind everybody that if you would like to become a CBC member, the audio commentary tier will have episode 2's audio commentary coming out later today, where we go into all theories and details, fully in depth, and talk about why we believe what we're talking about. So now with that out of the way, let's talk about what happens. So of course we got the revelation of the female Loki, and she seems to be even further ahead and able to outpredict any other Loki. Sort of like a prime Loki, if you will. Like, she seems to be steps ahead of everybody. So throughout the first and second episode, we saw that she was ending up in places and she was collecting reset charges. The big revelation is that she is going to take those, send them to different time periods in the time stream, and reset them all at once, causing massive splinters and problems with the timeline that the TVA is absolutely panicked with, because this was not supposed to happen. Why didn't the timekeepers predict this? What is going on? At the same time, we see the big twist in the final scene. She decides to go through one of the portals that opens up to a random time period. We don't see where, but she leaves it open just long enough that maybe one more person can follow her. And one more person does follow her. No longer does he want to be a slave to the TVA. No longer does he want to take orders from these imaginary lizards that he doesn't even believe are real. Instead, Loki does what many people expected him to do. He decides to follow her at the last minute, and Agent Mobius and the TVA agents do not manage to catch up with him. They see him enter, he sees that they saw it, but Loki is playing for Loki, aka Tom Hiddleston's Loki is playing for the other Loki. They are now working together. Now, how exactly this is going to change the entire direction of the show will remain to be seen. Quite obviously, we've got 4 episodes to go, but now I think some of those different time periods and moments they go to make a lot more sense, and why we see Loki fighting more TVA agents, and why some of the locations he goes to seem to be apocalyptic events, such as Asgard during its destruction. So that last scene, a lot of implications that the two Lokis are going to start scheming together to maybe try to take over the TVA, because in this episode, Loki describes that that's his plan. So overall, a lot going on. That last scene, very big at implying that Loki is back to his mischievous and villainous ways, and that maybe he didn't learn as much as we thought he did in these 2 episodes.